Hi, everybody. It's Jen Curran of Jen Curran Astro. I know it's been about 6 months since I posted on here, but I just wanted to get something out there. I have a lot more time on my hands because I graduated college and finished my internships, so I'm all done. And anyway, you don't need to know my life story. The point is, I have a lot more time for astrology right now, which is great. And I wanted to give everybody a little bit of a reminder that I have two subscription services available. One being it's called Subscription Sundays, and we'll get into both of them, but one is called Subscription Sundays, and it is a verbal reading subscription. So just like any other reading that you would book with me, where I record and then I send it to you asynchronously. We don't have to, set up a time to meet or anything like that. Just to make it easier on everybody, I am toying with the idea of doing Zoom or otherwise virtual readings, which I think would be really cool to do in real time. Just because I have a lot more availability now than I used to for scheduling these things, but I'm not sure if anybody would be interested in that. If you would, please let me know. Comment on here, any other of my social media, which are all at Jen Curran Astro, which is JenCurranAstro. I think you can read that if you're viewing this video, but I just want to put that out there. So in the meantime, before, we maybe will end up doing some in-person or, in real time readings, I want to let you guys know about Sunday's subscription service that I have, and then also a written version of that, which is called the Pen Pal program. So that's going to be for the write-ups, the little reports that I do, or not so little. You can make them up to 8 pages, which are like essentially single spaced, like multiple paragraphs a page, really long. Or you can just have them at one page, but we will get into the specifics in a minute. But I just want to thank anybody who's viewing this for being on my YouTube channel, supporting it. It's going to be up on YouTube. I may post it also to my socials, but for now, thank you if you are here from YouTube. And if you're not, you can just subscribe at Jen Curran Astro. But let's get into this. So do you like my shoulder clicking? That's really a good sign that I'm 21 and that's happening. But okay, so Subscription Sundays is what I've made, a little cute, theme that I gave it for. I knew that I would mostly be doing a lot of astrology in the summertime, right? Because I was so busy during the spring with all of my work, but I wanted to do a cute little summer themed situation going on with one of my subscription services. So that is how Subscription Sundays were born. And basically all that happens is that it's a regular, build your own sort of reading situation going on. Like any other subscription service, it happens repeatedly and you save a little money on each individual reading that's included. I have a setup where you can book, I believe it's between 3 to 8 readings, verbal readings that I deliver online. And you can do 3 to 8. You can choose to do 3 and then do 3 again, or you could just start with 8 or 6 or 5 or whatever it is that you want to do. You know how numbers work. I don't need to explain. So that is that option, and you're going to save on both of these options actually 9.14%. So essentially a 10% discount. And I picked 9.14 because it's my birthday, 914, and kind of my lucky numbers and all of that. So especially if you've cash apped me for a reading before, you probably have remembered that it's Jen Curran 914. That's my cash app tag. And that's just kind of what I do for everything. So I thought it'd be fun to do that in sort of in celebration of birthdays and astrology and birth charts and all that. So you save money, that was the main point, right? And for the subscription service, you can save money on 3 readings and you don't get refunded on any of those. But if you end up going for, 4 readings, 6 readings, 8 readings, anything in between, you can be refunded for 1 or 2 of those, depending on the number that you booked, right? And I want to lay that out because it's important to not abuse a subscription system. I know that, if and when hopefully I ever make it big, people might want to, book a subscription service and, book 3 readings and then end up canceling the last 2 and just getting away with a lower cost 1 reading, which is not fair. And maybe that was never in anyone's minds until I said it, but I'm paranoid, so bear with me. But yeah, so that's kind of the reason why I say that you have to start with 3 readings. You can't really go below that. because it wouldn't be much of a subscription if you just had 2 readings and that was the end of the, subscription period. But take a shot every time I say subscription. It's going to be very Irish up in here, like my family. But that all, aside, I want to get into what the actual like meat of the story is. And I'm sorry that I said that, that sounded gross. So for subscription Sundays, the way that I have it laid out is that you have a container, right? Like what kind of dish or like thing you have your ice cream in. Then you have a flavor, which is like, obviously you know what a flavor is. And then you have toppings for what you put on the ice cream. So altogether, you have a container, a flavor, and toppings. And the way that I've set it up is that you can pick any combination of those and you can kind of order them. If you want to be kind of, straightforward and just order things like I want 15-minute readings, I want 5 of them, and I want them to be about, my career advice, or I want an hour reading and I want 3 of them and I want them to be about my compatibility with somebody, right? So these are all options that you can do, but that sounds really boring. So what I wanted to make them, I thought that this would be more fun. And I'm going to actually go on my Instagram, Jen Curran Astro Instagram, and look at our March 30th post about subscription Sundays. And if you haven't seen that, you might want to take a look because it lays it all out for you in a menu, which I think is cute. I'm not going to like turn my phone and show you because you could just see like on the screen if I ever figure out how to use YouTube or like editing software, or you can just look at it on my page. I'm still learning, sorry. But the containers, right? There are 4 options: 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and an hour. 15 minutes is called the cup. 30 minutes is called the sugar cone, 45 minutes is called the jumbo waffle cone, and an hour is called the Sunday dish, because I think it's an order of like least involved to like most grandiose, so that's those options. And then for flavors, you can do a lot of different things, and I will get into it because there's a scoop situation with this. So and I didn't actually post about this, but I thought that people would get it somehow without me posting about it, but clearly it hasn't worked because I've gotten a couple questions. So I'm just going to explain it like a normal person. The flavors that I have are: vanilla is intro to astrology. Chocolate is a standard birth chart reading for you or someone else. Never forget that. You can be like, what's going on with my boyfriend? And like, tell me, his chart information and I'll figure it out. It doesn't have to be just you. Mint chocolate chip can be compatibility. That's romantic or platonic. It doesn't matter. That could be someone you're into. That could be somebody you've been with for a million years. That could be someone completely platonic, like a friend or a sibling. I did one reading that was so cool. Probably my favorite reading to date. It was really long because it had 3 different people involved. It had 3 siblings and they were all fighting. And this person wanted to know like, what's going on? Why do we all get in, these conflicts with each other, and how should we parse it out? And it was great. It was really fun. So if you have multiple people that you'd want to talk about, that could be a good option for you. Cookie dough is advice or guidance. That could be as general as what advice should someone with my chart have, or it could be as specific as I've been struggling a lot with picking a major. What major do you think I should pick, and like what minors maybe, or I'm trying to figure out where I should move and like what kind of climate I want to do. I'm just learning about astrocartography, which is the study of astrology and geography mixed together, about like where in the world this aspect of your life would be more harmonious or disharmonious based on your chart. But I can do a bit of that too. Sorry for rambling, I get excited. And then finally, we have Neapolitan Trio, which is for predictions and upcoming transits. So those are your flavors. Now, I brought up scoops earlier, and scoops just means like if you're doing a subscription, you're going to have multiple, right? So you don't have to commit to, if you want to book 7 readings, you don't have to commit to 7 different like times that you talk about intro to astrology. You might kind of want to branch out from that, or you could do that. That's absolutely fine. And I've done up to 4 readings, like repeat readings with somebody where it was just intro to astrology, and it was so much fun. Oh my God, I loved it. I loved like teaching about it and being able to kind of talk from a more basic guideline to like really detailed. It made me so excited. So if you want to do that, please let me know. But if not, it makes a lot of sense if you want to kind of bounce around. If you want to do maybe 1 or 2 intros to astrology, or, then you want to kind of move on to a compatibility reading, or you might want to do kind of one of everything and then save your last two and figure out what you want from there. Or you could do a common one. I think I've only had a couple, a few people do subscriptions, but the common ones have been like a monthly subscription where every month I check in about the upcoming month's transits for them. And I think that that's something that everybody could benefit from, right? And instead of having to go in and fill out the book your reading sheet a million times, you can just have, fill it out once. There's an option on that book your reading form. And I will link that obviously, but it's in the link tree. There's, you know where to find it if you've been on the site at all. And it's all over the website, but you can just fill that out once and then select the subscription service, and then you can put in more information there. And then of course I have like a million anything else you'd like to know tabs, so you can fill those out as well. But I digress. ADD queen, did not take my meds today. And you can tell. So you would say like, I want a scoop of cookie dough, 2 scoops of chocolate, and a Neapolitan trio or something like that if you were to have 6 readings. And then that would get you birth chart reading, compatibility, and transit. So I think that's cool. You can mix and match as you see fit. Finally, our category number 3 is toppings. It's the last and final one, I promise. And the toppings are sprinkles, hot fudge, whipped cream, caramel sauce, gummy bears, cherry on top. I know people are going to come at me if anyone actually watches this and say, when did you say caramel? And I think that caramel is the individual candy and caramel is like the substance. So anyway, I digress, but it's important to me. So sprinkles would be 3 readings, which is the minimum. Again, you can't go lower than that. And it's really not that big of a deal. Like, it's not a huge commitment. I know financially, everybody is willing to pay different things, and I have no money. I'm, paying out of pocket for this company. I'm not employed right now, so I get it, believe me. But 3 readings is not going to like end your life, is what I'm saying. Especially if you do a really short one. The 3 readings, if you do those, let's see, it'll be less than $50 total, which is, less than it would be by a lot for if you were to do like a longer reading. But I digress once again. Take a shot every time I say that too, because it's going to keep happening. But yes, so sprinkles will be 3 readings. Hot fudge is 4, whipped cream is 5, caramel sauce is 6, gummy bears are 7, and cherry on top is 8, which I think is cute. And so the way that it works, I'm changing it a little bit from what I have listed on this because I was being a little bit too generous with the refunds. Of course, if you have some like horrible life circumstance happen, you can cancel your subscription. But like generally speaking, I would obviously prefer if people didn't, just because it takes a lot of time and effort and research and work to prepare, take notes on people's charts and prepare what I'm going to say and how I'm going to break things up and what reading I'm going to, put what details into, if it's split into a part 1, 2 type of thing. So I would really prefer if people didn't do that. With 3, you can't, if you're doing 3 readings, if you're doing sprinkles, you cannot get a refund on any of them if you choose to cancel. If you do 4 or 5 readings, which would be hot fudge or whipped cream respectively, you can get a refund on one of those. On the post, it says final 1 and then final 2, but that's a little bit too generous. If I'm getting all excited to do, 4, 5 readings, if I, do 5 readings and then I only end up doing 3, that's kind of a waste of my time and energy. So the last, 2 would be a waste of my time and energy, not the first 3. But you get what I'm saying. And I don't mean to sound ungrateful or anything like that, but it's just like not fair to ask of people, especially if I spend, hours a day doing this, to, be ready for 5 readings and then only actually end up having 3 of them. And then I just wasted all that time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, I'm over explaining, but it is what it is. So, okay. And then caramel sauce and gummy bears are going to be 6 readings and then 7 readings. And for both of those, you can get refunded on 2. And then the cherry on top is 8 readings and you can get refunded on 3, which I think is still very generous. So that's that. So in terms of pricing, and this is for, just for one individual, I'd have to calculate out the prices for the subscription itself. But for an individual reading, or per reading, I should say, a cup is going to be 15 minutes. And that is going to be $16.35 instead of $18, which I normally would charge for that amount of time. A sugar cone is going to be 30 minutes for $30.89 rather than $34. A jumbo waffle cone is going to be 45 minutes and $46.34 instead of 51. And a Sunday dish is going to be 1 hour, 60 minutes, and it's going to be $61.78 instead of 68. So pretty good savings. And then obviously, if you do 3 readings, it's going to be 3 times that amount. If you do, 7 readings, it's going to be 7 times that amount. You understand what I'm saying. So that is how that goes. To book this, you would just, go into the regular booking form that I have. You can also go on to the March 30th post, and I have the QR code right there. On the last slide, there are 3 slides for this post. It's called the Subscription Sundays post. It's burgundy maroon collar with an ice cream sundae on it and a dish for 60 minutes. And yeah, it says book your subscription today. You know how it goes. So that's that. You can also pay, obviously, going through my Venmo, which is Genmo, JENMOOO, 3 O's. My Cash App, which is JenCurran914. Or you can use any of the payment methods that are available on the shop that I have, which is jencurranastro.com/shop. And it's all right there. There are multiple different, pictures that show up for how the different containers. If you want 15 minutes, 30 minutes, etc., you would just click on that. You would select your gratuity, which is always appreciated, but not expected. It's gratuity for a reason, right? I'm not going to be like, you have to tip me or else, because I understand it's hard, especially for college students. Like I just was, believe me, I get it, fresh out of college, forget about it. So I really do understand, but I do also really, really appreciate, even when people give me like a 10% tip, it really means a lot to me. So you can always end up tipping afterwards too, if that is cool with you, depending on, you want to see like how good the reading is. I totally get that, and that's fair. So those are your payment options. You can do, I believe, PayPal, Google Pay, Stripe, and Square. I have, if I do, end up seeing anyone in Westchester or in the city in person, you can pay me with your credit card and have one of those little swipey things for it. So that makes me feel cool. So that's that for Subscription Sundays. I really hope that people take advantage of that. I think that's a really good deal, but it is nothing compared to the deal that I have for write-ups. And it's a really stupid business move on my part to do the deal that I have for write-ups called my Pen Pal program, which I have not posted about yet. Well, I've posted about the fact that I have one, but I haven't gotten into the specifics yet. And it's really something. So let's dive in, shall we? The Pen Pal program is obviously, going to be the written, the write-ups that I have. I think they're just called write-ups. I don't have a cool name for them. But they're going to be those written reports where I posted an example of one of them that I did for an anonymous friend and client, but it's a post from pretty recently. Let me see when it's from, but it's like a salmon colored one, and it has 2 slides because it's 2 pages. So that was my first write-up that I've done. I've since done a couple more, but they've been so much fun to do. If you don't know, I was an English major, creative writing minor. I've been, writing all my life. So it was really fun to be able to combine astrology and writing and make some product out of it. It's really exciting. So I nerded out about it. I loved it. But yes, so this post is from May 28th. And it has your name at the top, pronouns if you want them, just in case you want to post this somewhere. Or if you just want to have a cute little, personalized detail. I did this one just so people wouldn't misgender this person if they, happen to write about them. Because I think that that's kind of, if people don't know better, they could say oh my God, her chart's so cool, his chart's so cool. And you don't know what that person's pronouns are. You know what I'm saying? Probably was just me being overthinking, but whatever. And then it has your birth time, place, and date. Obviously time is ideal, but if you don't have it, then I won't put that there, and I'll just use noon for that day if I end up writing about your rising sign. But if you don't want me to write your rising sign because we don't know it, that's totally fine, and I'll just get rid of the time column. So the way that I have set up this program is it's called the Pen Pal program, and it's available on my website like anything else. I'm actually pulling it up right now just so I can look. But yeah, so I have Pen Pals. It's the same thing as the Sundays, but just with a more, literary theme to it. I never had a Pen Pal because it's 2022, but I wish that I'd had, and you can get one now if you want this. I can be your Pen Pal. So the way that this works is that I do a write-up, a digital one. I'm also very open to the idea. I was thinking of actually sending you a letter. If you're comfortable with me having your address or like an address of somewhere that I can send it to for you, maybe a PO box or like a school address or something, then that would be cute, like a fun, like actual physical letter, just kind of old timey. I don't know. I think it's adorable when people send letters. So that could be fun. But obviously the main option would be to do it online just for everybody's ease and comfort. So that's totally cool. The way that Pen Pals works is that I charge by the page. I offer between 1 to 8 pages. So instead of 3 to 8, this one is 1 to 8. And it's an insane deal because the first page is $10 no matter what. And then every page after that is $8 more. And the way that that works is that you end up paying essentially half of what you would be paying for the amount of time that it takes for me to write each page if that had been a verbal reading. So for example, if you booked a 4-page reading, a 4-page write-up, sorry, a 4-page write-up, each page would take me minimum 15 minutes, but I charge for 15, minimum 15 minutes. And you would actually only pay for about 7 or 8 of those minutes based on the final price. So the way that it works is pretty self-explanatory. I, can fit a lot of information. If you look at the post that I have, and again, I'll try to insert it here, but I don't know how to use technology. So if you look at the post that I have about this, it's a lot of words. It's 2 huge paragraphs. They're like 1.15 space. There's like, it's not like I'm writing like 4 sentences and I'm like, that's a page. It really takes me a long time. And I have to make your chart. I have to save it to my database. I have to go look through it and see what notable things I could write about. I, have to draft up like a whole template to, fill in with your information every time. I never, repeat the same thing twice. So that was redundant. Sorry. I never repeat the same thing. So it's very personalized. It's very intimate. And it's something that I think you should take advantage of because it is such a good deal. But pricing wise, right? We can do kind of the same deal where I require you to get 3 write-ups, and you can do as many as 8, and you can renew your subscription if you want. You get an additional discount for that, but that's way down the road and I'm being a little too ambitious with that. So let me calm down. But you can do a minimum of 3 and you don't get refunded. It's the same deal. So just apply what I said earlier about the refunds. But you can do anywhere from 3 to 8 times that you get this, and you can order 3 1-pages or 4 4-pages or something like that, just whatever you're comfortable with paying. And again, it's half the price that you pay for the verbal reading. So I'm hoping that people will start booking more than just 1 page, but 1 page is also great. It's, somewhere to start. And then if you find that you're more and more interested, there's only so much that I can fit on 1 page, right? Like I really cram information into there, but eventually I'm going to run out of space. So I urge people to start with 4 pages, just like I urge people to start with a 30 or 45-minute reading. So let's get into the pricing for that. I'm actually going to look on my phone and see what the prices are that I have for this, just because I'm bad at math and I can't do it in my head. So yeah, if you go to JenCurran914.com/shop, just like you would for anything else, you can click on this and it'll just say custom write-up, and it says available for subscription in the little orange banner. So 1 page is $10, 2 pages, $18, 3 pages, $26, 4 pages, $34, $42 for 5 pages, $50 for 6 pages, $58 for 7 pages, and $66 for 8 pages. So that's an insane deal because think about it. I'm probably going to end up spending 20-25 minutes per each page, but let's just say I do 15. So if I do 15 pages, or 15 pages, oh my God, if I do 8 pages and 15 minutes per page, that's going to be 2 hours, right? And if you were to book a 2-hour reading with me, it would be $137, but I'm only charging 66 on here. So it's even less. It's like probably 45 or something %. So this is not a deal that you want to miss out on. So again, you can book this just from using the QR code that I made. I put a kind of little custom one on this as well, just like I did with the other post. So you can, I'm actually going to post this tonight. So tonight's June 23rd, 2022. So I'll post this and you can look at, kind of scroll through and see what the different options are for page lengths. But you can fill out, just like you would in the book a reading form where you click on subscription, you would just click on Pen Pals for this one and fill out all your information just as usual. So I hope that you guys enjoy those subscriptions. I would really love to get going on some of those this summer since I'm waiting to get a job. And I really hope that this is, clear. I probably rambled for a million hours. I'm hoping I can edit most of this out because I've already recorded for an hour, but please let me know if you have questions. My DMs are always open, JenCurranAstro on all socials. And you can also email contact@JenCurranAstro.com. So I hope to see you in my order page.